Well, hello. Happy last day of school. So now's the time for you to start cleaning up. I know, you have to say goodbye to Mrs. Rogers, just for now. And you have to clean up your workspace. You can't just leave it a mess. I can't leave all this here. So here's my stuff. I got all the stuff that I gotta clean up. So I got my whiteboard. You need to decide what you're gonna do with your whiteboard. Ask your family what should do it. Then you've got your paper stuff. So I've got my launch log. I've got my Kumeyaay Indians. I've got some math. I could work on that this summer if I wanted. There's a bunch of cool stories in these benchmark books. I could totally stack those up and think about that. I got my science notebook. What else do I have? I have some homework and remembering math. Oh, I've got my TCI book. That's a fun one. It's cool. What else? Oh, I've got my cursive book. What else do you have? Maybe you have a folder still. Maybe you've got a folder that you put some things in. I know you have your notebook, 5-subject notebook, your multiplication. What else do you have? I don't know. Do you have any of your extra parts for your glider? That's possible. Maybe you have this or that book, or maybe you have an Early Birds book. I mean, you have a lot of stuff. There's stuff for the whole school year down here. So maybe you've got your Frindle book. There's so many things you might have. You should have your Sarah Weeks book, Save Me a Seat. And then you might have some markers. You might have some crayons. You might have a glue stick. You might have your timer. What else? Some of you might have sticky notes. Anything else? There's more probably that you might have. I have a bookmark. I've got my eraser that I used this year. I actually got some whiteout too. Think about all the things that you might have had. I have some pencils for school that I had. You don't want to drop your stuff. You got to make sure you know where it all is. So pack it all up. Today's the day. You want to clear out your cart. My cart's got to get empty. It is full of stuff. I don't know whether you have this. Oh, I have my ruler. I have my nameplate. My nameplate is there from the beginning of the school year. So you need to pack up. You want it to be empty. You want to have everything empty. Now you have to make some decisions. You're going to want to work with your family. You have to decide, is this done? Like here, is this kind of toast? Or is this something that you want to remember? So if you want like a summer workspace to work on things to keep your brain alive, you could make yourself a summer workspace. Or if you feel like this is done and you know these things, you could throw this away. These are books you might want to put in your bookshelf. These are good books to read for another day, or gift it to a friend. So you can make a bookshelf pile. This, you have only gone through a few of these. You're only about halfway through this book. So you could spend the summer challenging yourself to do some extra ones. Your goal before 4th grade, you could try to get to the end. So if that's something you want to do to really, especially if you know some of your goals and what you wanted to work on, these would be things you could do like one day or one a week, and just open it up. So that's something you could keep if you wanted to keep working on that. Otherwise, you could recycle it. Same thing with this or that. So you could keep going. You could go pretty far. You're only up to about halfway through it right now. So for those of you that have more to go, you can keep going and try to finish it this summer. That would be fun. These you're probably done with, so you can throw your glider parts away unless you wanted to build a super stellar glider. You know the skills now. You could look in your science notebook and try to get thrust and lift. So that's something, otherwise you could recycle it. You can decide, this is a great way. You can try to practice all the songs to know your multiplication before 4th grade. You could hang it up if you wanted to have a summer workspace. So I'll put that with this. Maybe you're going to recycle these. Maybe you're going to leave them up in your workspace. You decide. This is your compilation. Have fun. You might want to spend the next week before you really get going with your summer to really just be a little nostalgic and remember all the things that we learned. There's so many things we learned. It's crazy how much we learned. We learned about quotation marks. Oh, so many questions, so many things about grammar. We have so many words. Look at all the, see if you can remember them all. Practice spelling these gorgeous big words from our Poppy book. Oh, we worked so hard. So just take some time and remember. So you might want to remember. When you're done remembering, you can either decide to keep this on your bookshelf for reference. There's some really cool things to reference. Or if you're done, you can get rid of it and recycle it. It's your choice. This folder is done. Unless you have another use for it, you can recycle it. Try to finish your cursive. You're almost done. We got most of the way through it, so you only have V, W, X, Y, Z, I think. So you're super close. So try to finish your book. There's also the rest of the lessons on Canvas. That will only be available for you a little bit longer before they cut you off. So enjoy the rest of the videos on Canvas if you'd like, and then they'll cut you off when you're done. You can recycle it. This has so many things. We did all kinds of more projects with social studies, but if you wanted to do some of these projects, you could look in here. You can see some of the things that we did, but there is some more information. So you pick any page in the TCI book, and you can start learning about different parts of things that are going on in the world. Super fun, all kinds of government stuff. A lot of the stuff we did in projects and some of the stuff we did in a different way, but you can choose any of this that you want. So if you're interested in learning more, you could totally look through that. Same thing with your math homework book. Some of these will be super easy now, and some of them might still be more challenging and interesting. So your choice if you wanted to work on some math. Science notebook is glorious. You might want to keep that in your bookshelf because this is some really cool learnings, and you could show people what you know and some of the experiments, and you could tell them about design thinking and about how you made catapults out of simple machines. So these are choices you could make. You might want to keep that in your bookshelf. It's a pretty cool science notebook. Plus, there's more to go. So any scientific discoveries you have this summer, fill it up in your notebook. This is a golden thing to have in the world. You are scientists. These you can throw out and recycle unless you would like to do some more reading this summer. If reading is a goal of yours, go ahead and start reading. These are all kinds of cool stories in here, and you already know how to take notes and to annotate. You could do little essays. You could do a compare and contrast of different stories, and if you go deep enough in, it'll give you little projects to do. Some of them have vocabulary. In the back, if you go there, it'll be like, hey, go find this word on this page. So if you wanted to challenge your brain and need something to do, these would be great books for you to do that with. When you're done with them, you can recycle them. Same thing with your other math book. The Kumeyaay had some great research. We had so much fun with it. Once you feel like you know it all, you can either, since it's a beautiful colored handout, you can put it in your bookshelf to keep, to always know about this, or you can recycle it. Your choice. Same with PLCW Launch Log. I might put this in my science journal since it goes with science if I wanted to remember some of the things that I learned, especially these 2 pages. They were like so good. So if you wanted to learn those, you could put it in your science notebook. If you felt like you know it all, you can recycle that. Your choice. Then you have to deal with basic supplies. So decide, are your pens still good? Are your pens still good? Test them out and see. If they're getting old, you might want to be done with them. Maybe you'll get some fresh pens for the beginning of the school year. You have to decide where you should store your ruler. If you have whiteout, where to store that. You want to keep your bookmark near your bookshelf, so find where your books are and keep that so you have a place for your bookmark. Decide where you want sticky notes to be. Crayons, are you going to get fresh ones later, or you want to use these for now? Find a place for them. Same with your glue stick, any pencils that you might have, and see where you might want to keep your timer. This one has a magnet, so you could put it up somewhere. This is a fun way to time yourself when you're reading. Figure your erasers should be pretty good. These last a long time. I'm going to use them probably for a couple more years, so you could keep these. These are really good ones if you got the white eraser that I suggested. These are the best ones. They erase really good. And the whiteboard, figure out where you want to store that. If you want to clean it up with some whiteboard spray. Mine came with some whiteboard spray, so I might spray mine down and really clean it up so it looks really good. So I would go get my tissue and just say, hey, I want that to look really sharp. I'm going to clean it up. Or it may be that you're going to get a different one for next school year. You'll have to ask your family what they think. Your job today is really to clean up your space. You want everything to be put away and clean. You're not going to be logging in anymore. Your iPad is getting turned in today and tomorrow. And your Chromebooks are for next year now. You'll have access to my Canvas page for a little bit longer, and then it will cut you off. So it'll be all done. So take a break. Enjoy your summer. Clean up. Make everything beautiful. It'll feel really good to have just everything put away so that when you're ready to start fresh next year, you can get everything all set up again. This was such a good year. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for all you did, all the work you did, all the ways that your brain are on fire. Be musical, be amazing. Use your brave voice forever. Happy summer.